Paris, thank you. More than 300,000 women left the workforce last month alone. That's according to an analysis of federal data by the National Women's Law Center. Women have been hit particularly hard by job losses and family responsibilities during the COVID-19 pandemic, in particular, low-income working moms. As part of our Firsthand Living in Poverty series, we look at some of the challenges that face those women and the kind of support they might benefit from. Joining us now with more is Marcy Ibarra, Associate Professor at the University of Chicago's Crown Family School of Social Work, Policy, and Practice. Marcy, thank you for joining us. So it is well known that obviously many families face difficulty arranging childcare, even those with the means. But how much harder is it for those who are low-income families and especially unpartnered women?
Yes, thank you so much, Brandis, and thank you for having me. I think that it's important to consider the options that low-income families have, particularly unpartnered single mothers who are working. So to offset the cost of care, most low-income working mothers need help in order to go to work, especially when wages are low. And so the policy landscape looks like, you can go to a Head Start program, or you can get potentially a childcare subsidy through Illinois. The challenge with that is there's two challenges. First, with childcare subsidies, it can be the case that the need is great, but the resources are slim, so to speak. There have to be enough slots, and there has to be a slot available that's either usually close to your home or close to where you work, because this is how families tend to like to arrange childcare, right? So they're close by their kid, whether it's at home or close to work. And then the second driving factor that makes it tough is that lots of folks who are in low wage jobs are in jobs in which there are non-standard hours. So outside the 9 to 5 business setting that most businesses have, or work fluctuating hours in which schedules change from week to week or month to month, sometimes working long hours, sometimes working short hours. And if you think about that from a childcare perspective, you can imagine how difficult it would be for not only to access childcare that would enable you to work, but also to maintain it.
And many low-income working women, they also don't have paid family leave for when they need that. What can that lead to?
So without paid family leave, again, low-wage workers are disproportionately without employer-sponsored provisions. So if you're a professional worker, such as myself, and I'm assuming you, Brandis, our employers provide that through as part of the benefit package. Low-wage workers often don't have that through their employer. So if you want to take a day off, or if you need time off after having a baby or caring for a loved one or sick one, you don't really have any place to turn in order for that time to be paid, although Chicago recently passed paid sick days not too long ago. But by and large, for systematic benefits to cover the costs of you taking time off to care for whatever it might be, we don't have a national paid family leave program, and only a handful of states do have them.
Right. And the pandemic, of course, has exacerbated all of these issues. Last month, women actually lost 26,000 jobs, and 300,000 women left the labor force entirely. And since February of 2020, women have lost 3 million jobs. What kind of support do women need to regain some of these losses?
Yeah, I think that the political will has changed, but the needs of the package of supports that women need in order to balance family and work life largely hasn't. Meaning expanded childcare provisions, things like paid family leave, are going to be essential for families, especially lower income families, to patch together resources in order to have stable work and family lives in the near term, but also in the long term. I think the pandemic has revealed that for more of us, but it isn't the case that policymakers as well as researchers didn't know that these were provisions that were going to be essential.
You and your colleagues have spoken firsthand with people in Chicago about how the pandemic has impacted them. What sorts of additional demands have low-income women and mothers faced as caregivers during COVID-19?
Yeah, so we did a series of interviews with folks from Chicago. 42 low-income mothers were part of that group. We interviewed them before and after the pandemic. And before the pandemic, things were tough. And just evidence for a very long time has demonstrated that everything pretty much has to go right for low-income women, especially those who are unpartnered, to balance work and family if they are in a low-wage job. Post-pandemic, we're layering on top of that, of course, the stress and strain of a pandemic and all the socioeconomic consequences of that. in addition to schooling obligations that, kids are now transitioning to in-person, but we went a whole year where most were online. And then, parents worrying. I think some of the most striking things that have been revealed in the work that we've done, aside from all the things that we've already talked about, is the emotional and mental trauma that low-income moms have experienced in the pandemic. Aside from economic concerns, which are great and were great before the pandemic, but are now serious, very serious, is the mental stress of like, what am I going to do if I get sick? Who is going to take care of my kids?
And Marcy, before we let you go, you and some other, I want to touch on something that has been talked about a lot. You and other researchers have highlighted the positive impact of state-supported paid family leave, but your work has found that in some states, new moms would actually get more money from sort of a cash welfare program. In about 40 seconds, what is it that lawmakers, policymakers need to be considering here?
I think when you think about a paid family leave program, you want to think about taking into consideration low-wage working moms, how much they earn a year. So if you have a high earnings requirement to get into a paid leave program, it might exclude some low-wage working moms. And then benefit levels, minimum benefit levels. If you want folks to have enough, essentially low-wage working moms around the time of the birth, then the minimum benefits need to be relatively generous in order for that to happen.
Okay, well, it's a good place to leave it. Marcy Ibarra, University of Chicago's Crown School. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.